each hand. Siren stutter, crew runs blind. Russian curses spill behind. Dripping pipes drum overhead. Every shadow wants them dead. Surf ninja beach boogie on a midnight raid. Spirit dance spinning with a bloody blade. Keep that iron fleet trembling at the edge of the waves. Surf ninja beach boogie in the ocean waves. Chart room shaking, maps take flight. Hydrophone hissing light. Periscope spin sees the shore. Mask and board on the water's roar. On the swells they draw their line. Bare feet stamping, beating time. Salt on lips, toes in sand. Spirit dance kills every command. Surf ninja beach boogie on a midnight raid. Oh yeah. Spirit dance burning through the crimson chain of command. Keep that iron fleet drifting far away from our land. Surf ninja beach boogie till they understand. Left foot, right foot, healing foam. Call the storm and send them home. Decks run red, the ghost advance, but the tide swings wide for the spirit dance. Surf ninja beach boogie, shake the breaking waves. Spirit dance rising like a tidal wave. Keep that iron fleet turning back the way it came. Surf ninja beach boogie, remember the name.
Howdy, howdy, it's your old pal, Tiki the Hut. Thanks for joining me again on another Too Late Tonight with Tiki. We're actually doing this just a little bit early today, so that's kind of cool. Alright, I have a big event coming up in a couple days, actually on the, the 10th? Yeah, let me check. Yeah, the 10th. So, I gotta get some models painted. We'll be doing 3K of allies versus my 2.5K of combined Imperial Japanese forces. I'm kind of excited about that. Alright. I have been building lots and lots and lots of terrain. Probably see it a little bit on stream here. I've been working on some docks. So I'm trying to set up like realistic objectives that I think would be fighting over. So there's like docks on the beach. There's like a hidden... Give me a second, I think I'm having technical issues here. Alright, so we're back. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. I launched the whole thing, and I was like, huh, I figured if I tried it a little bit earlier, maybe some people would see it. But I had the whole thing on private. So, you know, technical issues on my part. So, that's what I get, I guess. Hey, what's going on, Judy? Yeah, I was just checking out. I was like, man, I was hoping if I do it like back to back with Morty's stream, I'd get more people. But I was like, huh. But I kept seeing this little like padlock system. I was like, oh shit, it's on private. Hey, what's going on, Squidfist? How you guys doing? So, yeah, I already did the whole intro. You know, I tried to start a whole hour early, but I didn't know I had the whole stream privated. I was like, that's very odd. So, lesson learned. But, so what I was trying to tell people is I have a really cool bolt action event coming up. Unfortunately, my local store is closing, but we're doing, we're going out in style, right? We're going out in 3K of allies versus my 2.5K of various Imperial Japanese. It's unfair like that just because we're trying to coax like an allied victory. Not saying I'm that good, but, you know, just in case, you know, I want it to be like a feel-good game. You know, keep it casual. And it should be a lot of fun. So it's gonna be meeting engagement, key positions, and it's gonna the first turn is gonna be night fighting rules. So that should be a lot of fun. I've been building and painting terrain like a madman. So I built a whole bunch of these basically like docks. So I have enough docks to on the beach. I'm gonna build like a little like dock system where like the subs, the U-boats were secretly coming into and offloading like their refugees. Some of the other points to take as you kind of aggress up the map, right in the center is actually going to be a crossroads, and it's actually, you know, tactically viable because it's going to have roads going there, so, you know, it's very advantageous to take and push further into the island. To the right is going to be an airfield. To the left is going to be a fuel dump that's like hidden inside of like a statue. That's why the allied bombers can take it out. And then all the way in my backfield is going to be like the entrance to the cave tunnel network system under the island. So, we're trying to make it like a, it's going to be kind of like a, not super realistic, but like kind of like a fun Hollywood style. What Bolt Action 2nd edition was made for, you know, that very Hollywood style World War II feeling, not like the super nitty gritty rivet counting, so. Yeah, they were a great store. The prices were always good. I don't know if that's what it was. I'm not a business guy. I'm not gonna lie. So one of the reasons why I really like the store, you guys feel free to make fun of me. They just stroked what little ego I had. Like the first time, when I played that Berlin game, one guy's like, "Hey, I recognize your voice." Like, yeah, I do these videos. Like, yeah, that's where I know you from. He's like, "Our whole shop does Conflict 47." I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." So when I show up, like, "Oh, you're the guy with the videos," I was like, "This feels cool." Again, remember, I still have like under 1,000 subscribers. I'm like microscopic, but I'm like, oh, that feels really cool. So I always tried to show up to that shop, make a presence where I could, really try and support. That's where I've also been disappeared from for like the last 4 months. I've been doing a lot of like projects and traveling, but a lot of free time I had. I went down to that local store, just what I think most really good wargamers, you know, especially channels, you look at people like Red Ones Go Faster, Morty and Glory, Mike Rolls Dice, some other people. I think Mike Rolls Dice, actually, I don't know. I just started watching stuff. I don't know him that well, to be perfectly honest. I'm pretty sure. But a lot of these guys and girls, they pound the pavement. You know, they go to the local stores. They instill that community. You know, they get people rolling dice, get people painting their fucking models. and they kind of keep that good vibes going. So that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, hey, instead of focusing on video content and all this stuff, it's like, let me go out there, let me get a lot more experience under my belt, you know? So I've been playing relentless Conflict 47 Bolt Action, because even during my event, my Clash of the Caribbean, I felt like I didn't know the rules that much. Hey, what's going on, RK? No, I just started an hour early because Morty went really late. So I just like, oh, I'll start my stream like right as he ends his. And then I was delayed like 16 minutes for tech issues. Yeah, sorry, Squidfist. I started like right on time, but like I guess I had it privated for some reason. I was like, huh. I was like, so I tinkered behind the scenes and I fixed it. But no, yeah. So RK can manage. Even at my own event that I tried to run, I didn't know Conflict 47 that much, right? So I was trying to help with the rules as best I could, but I was like, ooh, you know, I should probably be better at this. So I spent a lot of time playing a lot of local games, getting a lot of good reps under my belt. And it helps. It helps a lot. I really fine-tuned my Imperial Japanese for Conflict 47. I enjoy it a lot more now. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was pretty saucy about walkers. I felt like walkers were like the Mary Sues of the environment. They got all these badass special rules, but they can be beaten. You just have to build your list accordingly. And when you're playing as the Imperial Japanese, don't fall for the expensive pit traps. It's I don't mean tourists like hobby tourists, but I mean tourists like if you ever been to a tourist town, you know, they'll have like what would be like a 1 or 2, not even a 1 or 2 star, but they'd have like a low to mid-level restaurant, but they'll have like expensive prices and like fake googity shit on the walls. And it's a tourist trap, right? It's there to get tourists, separate their money. But if you just walk like 5 feet behind that alley, you'll find a really good mom and pop restaurant that has better food for better prices. So it's like that with the IJA in Conflict 47. If you just look at the, like, you know, jiggling keys, like, ooh, look at the new riff units. If you spin your points in the riff units, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get glass cannon stomped. So be very careful what you spend your points on. Yeah, so that's one thing I highly advocate. Go back to basics, go back to non-riff stuff, and then add in the riff stuff that you need. I don't know if that works for every Conflict 47 army, but it worked for the Japanese. Start with your basics, and then build from there. Alright. I got my rum and coke, I got plenty of stuff lined up, we got music, I got models to paint. Yeah, so if you haven't seen these are my militia riflemen for my Imperial Japanese army. These are my my island natives who've been press ganged into service, so my NCOs have drums. Here's a rifleman. Here's what they look like when they're fully painted. So I gotta get these 20 guys painted and ready. I think that's the last models I need to paint for my 2,500 point list. So just off the top of my head, actually let's see if I can bring the list up. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna read you guys off what my 2,500 point list is. I sent it to Morning, but I know he's kind of just he stops reading my list and just glazes over them, which is fine. But I fixed his file. I was like, yep, very Tiki. Alright, cool, moving on. Alright, so I went with what I call the Tiki Terror Defense Force, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and have, I'm going to try and represent all three quote-unquote factions. So I'm going to have Imperial Japanese Army, Imperial Japanese Navy Snilfs, and I'm going to have, like, home defense, kind of, you know? It's not really defending the home island, but it's defending an island, if that makes sense. Alright, so it's 30 dice, and it's 6 platoons. So I have I have 3 rifle platoons, 2 armored platoons, and a heavy weapons platoon. So the first rifle platoon is like my usual go-to. They are my hard hitters. So they're Imperial Japanese Airborne. It's a command squad with 2 extra soldiers. They all have rifles, and the commander has a sword. And they're airborne, so they're tough fighters. I have 4 airborne squads. So that's 10 guys in the squad, veteran tough fighters. NCO has a sword. I have a veteran sniper team. And then I have 2 veteran lunge mines. So that's the first platoon. Alright, second platoon is an armored platoon. It has 1, for the command vehicle, it has 1 Type 92 armored car with no radios. And then it has 4 Chiha medium tanks, regulars. And the regular Chiha, so the one with the howitzers. Alright, so the third platoon is going to be the heavy weapons platoon. So it has a veteran officer team, 3 guys, all rifles, and they're veteran tough fighters. It has 2 veteran light mortar teams, and they're paratroopers, so it's 3 soldiers with tough fighter. I have 1, this is pretty cool, I have 1 anti-tank rifle team that's veteran and paratrooper, so they have tough fighter, but it's 4 guys in the AT rifle team, which is awesome. So it's basically like almost what you call like a heavy rifle team. I'm pretty excited about that. 4 dudes, one of them has an AT rifle. They're veteran and tough fighter. That's going to be a cool unit to see. Then I have 1 anti-tank rifle team that's taken as regulars, and they're my Japanese Navy SNILFs. And then I have another veteran lunge mine. So that's 3 lunge mines, and 2 AT rifle teams, and 2 light mortar teams. Alright, next we're moving on to the 4th platoon. So the 4th platoon is where we start getting into these guys, where we start getting into the militia. So you have an inexperienced platoon commander who's part of the what is that, home defense? Yeah, who's part of the home defense. She's gonna have a submachine gun. It's gonna be my little Kimpatai models. And then you're gonna have 2 5-man rifle squads, inexperienced, and they're gonna be the volunteer fighting corps, aka militia squad. All right, next platoon, we have another armored platoon. So we're gonna have the command tank is gonna be a Kami, Imperial Japanese Navy float tank, light tank, and then you're gonna have 4 more, yeah, 4 more regular Chiha tanks with the howitzers. And then the final platoon is another home defense platoon. So you have an inexperienced platoon commander, home defense with a submachine gun. And then 2 more 5-man veteran fighting corps militia squad with rifles, inexperienced. So they're going to get a mix of everything. So all the SNILFs are regular. The Navy, there's 2. There's a Navy tank and a Navy AT rifle team. All the actual infantry squads and stuff like that, the uniformed ones are all paratroopers, and so they're veterans. And then they're also running into some irregular forces, volunteer rifle corps who are all inexperienced. So they should have like a mix of units to fight. Yeah, Ginny's right. All of them working together, it's gotta be science fiction. Yeah, I saw your painted models, Mountain. They were amazing. I especially love that cannon. That was absolutely well done. Your K-47 Japanese are beautiful. Well done. Truly well done. I know I'm going into 3K of allies. I know somebody's bringing Americans. Somebody is bringing Soviets, I believe. And somebody's bringing Americans, but he won't tell me if he's bringing his airborne, when I think he's going to bring his airborne, so. The phrase Navy tank tickles me. Yeah, that was one of the cool factoids. The Imperial Japanese were the only ones who had a mass-produced float tank. Everyone always talks about D-Day. We talk about the Shermans with the duplex drives, the DD Shermans. Those were pioneered and tested on British Tetrarchs, the same little tanks they used to throw on their gliders. So they tested the DD, the duplex drive, on the Tetrarchs during Operation Ironclad, when the British Royal Navy and their colonials in South Africa and Rhodesia fought the VC French and Imperial Japanese Navy in Madagascar. So that, in many ways, was a test and a blueprint for the D-Day invasion. So it's kind of cool to study that. But yeah, that's where they started trying their whole idea of amphibious tanks, for ship-to-shore style stuff. But yeah, the whole point behind the Imperial Japanese swimming tanks, not just to go from island to island, especially the atolls, you know, and go right over the coral reef and stuff. But the other cool thing is they were light enough that they could put them on their submarines, and that was the whole point. When you're using the Tokyo Express, which was the way the Imperial Japanese Navy resupplied all their islands at night with submarines, you know, away from Allied eyes. The Allies could take a whole island, you know, go to sleep and then wake up. There's a whole bunch of Japanese in the trees, and plus there's Japanese tanks rolling around. Like, how the fuck did they get here? So, it's kind of a cool little surprise. Alright. Let me move all these docks I built and painted. It is a lot. I'm going to try and make as realistic of a cool little map as I can. I have been building shit tons of terrain. You guys can see it's just tons of docks. I'm excited. I mean, I'm sad that the store's going out of business, but what makes it sad is we had just started a bolt action league at that shop. We started at 500 points. We're going to stay there for a month. Then we're going to bump up to, I think it was 750, and then we're going to bump up to 1,000, and then we're going to bump up to 1,250. It was sad. Oh yeah, Squidfish, shoot that shit to me on Discord. I'll take a look, buddy. Funny you say that, Ginny. I actually have some, I guess you'd call it like Zone Mortalis 40k style stuff, for like boarding action. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, as long as you have good imagination, you can use that for actual, like, engagements on a ship. That would be really cool. But I wouldn't do 500 points. I would scale it down to what they used to call bolt action firefight. I think Arcades would work on some rules for it. So you do almost like a kill team, but set in Conflict 47. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I love when you send me stuff, man. That's what we got. After I check these, I'm going to jump right back into painting. Lord knows I need to finish stuff. I see your message, HHL. Oh! Goes from Commander HHL to Captain HHL. Oh, look at that. Alright. There it is, RK, man. Oh, everybody should have a friend like RK. He is Johnny on the spot all the times. Always has something funny to say. Always cool. If you need a goal in life, it's get a friend like RK. What a cool dude. Alright, hey, Dan Legion, what's going on, brother? Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the channel. I'm going to be finishing up my... shit. My self-insert Gary Stu character here. And then I'll be working on my totally brave, 100% volunteered, not gang-pressed native militia rifleman. Hey, what's going on, Glenn Lee? Yes, I am painting. Yeah, sorry, we spent the first kind of minutes talking about what all we're going to be doing. But as I was telling them, I was like, I need to actually slap some serious paint on some models. Because the game is on Tuesday, so I need to absolutely get started. Even though it is technically a paint and chat, so as long as I either paint or chat, I'm not giving false advertising here. But no, I think we're gonna finish our Tiki self-insert character here. So as you can see, I do his dick towel white because it matches how I did the dick towels for the natives. Yeah, that's exactly what I need. Yeah, Panzer Chocolat. That nothing says luau and Tiki themed like Panzer Chocolat. Goes down great with Square Grouper, apparently. That won't lead to a heart attack. So unfortunately, as you guys all know, I'm always happy to talk about my weaknesses. So one of my weaknesses is I am 100% apparently that hipster slash pick me girl. So it's all my hobbies, like firearms and everything else. I'm always a hipster, you know, when it comes to guns and calibers. So let me know if it's too loud or not. I have to adjust my mic. I apologize. But I love orcs. Yeah, I've been collecting orcs from Warhammer 40k. I don't play much in 10th. I'm not a fan of standing in circles and shit, and drawing cards like it's Yu-Gi-Oh! and all this other weird stuff. Here comes the 10 mil. Don't you dare make fun of my 10 mil. Anyways, but I know orcs are gonna be the main bad guy for 11th edition, so I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, I'm not gonna change factions. I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm just gonna be the popular bad guy. I swear to God, I was getting models down to like kit bash and do some train stuff, and life happened. I dropped my 9th edition Gene Stealer Cult Codex off my top of my cabinet, and it literally hit me in the shin. And I was like, "Ow, what the fuck is this?" I was like, "Oh, a Gene Stealer Cult." I was like, "Damn it." So I'm still going to maintain my orc army, but I may do a little bit of Gene Stealer culting in 11th. We'll see how it turns out. you put your pictures in MG's stream discussion. I feel like one of these days you get tired of me like time sharing his audience and his Discord. But today likely won't be that day. Yeah, exactly, Jenny. It was a sign from the Four Emperor. All right, Matthew. Let me put a little bit. Let me put some paint on my Gary Stu model here, and ooh, there we go. That's it. Are these your orcs? No, I have orcs. It's so funny. I actually got another fun story to tell on painting. Karma's real. It really is, guys. I did not have a fun second game of 11th. Nothing against the guy. I mean, the more I look at it, I think he was kind of like weird with stuff, but I don't know. If you ever get the vibe like a guy doesn't get to play people very often, and then you find out there's a reason, you know? That's the kind of thing that happened. Nothing against the guy. I mean, he could be watching the stream. I'd say the same thing. I'd say it to his face, too. I told him, you know, and I met my objective. I told him I just want to play with my orcs. I don't really care about winning, and that happens. No complaints. I did play with my orcs, and I did not have to worry about winning. And more importantly, I got to tank shock some people, so. That was absolutely my objective. Yeah, we're painting, for those of you guys just tuning in, we're painting my native militia riflemen from my Imperial Japanese Army. So I run them as like the tertiary branch. You know, you have Japanese Army, Japanese Navy SNILF, and then you have home defense. I'm running these kind of as my home defense. That's what we're working on right now. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. So that's always been my go-to, Ginny, if I'm not having fun with like 11th edition, because there's all these circles and like secondaries. I'm like, I'm just gonna play 28mm Gaslands. So that's exactly what I did. And these guys were scary, you know, and they could keep bringing themselves back. I realized you'd have to kill the whole squad. I was like, well, I got plenty of command points saved up, so I started tank shocking people. Yeah. And orc trucks have like, what is it, 8 toughness. That's 8 dice. That ain't too shabby. Plus, they have their wrecking ball, so you tank shock them and then actually assault them. Not bad. I'll say I wiped a whole Deathmark squad that deep struck in. I absolutely just straight up twisted metal, ran them over. it was the single glorious thing of that whole day. I was so happy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going back over the model spots I missed. I'm giving him a full Imperial Japanese Army uniforms. I'm using Zenduri Dust. This model is Kit Bash from a D&D monk miniature. That's where I got like the mask and all the other kind of stuff. And then I'm kind of painting him. Hold on. I know the light's kind of bright. There we go. So giving him like the uniform, but you can tell he's kind of cut it off and made shorts, and he's wearing leather moccasins. But anyways, sorry, the story I was getting to about Karma. So I did not have fun with that guy. And I think, and somebody were playing bolt action in the league in that same store, so I kept having to like help him settle some rules here and there. And he didn't seem frustrated at all. He knew he was gonna win, so I think that's what he wanted, which is fine. But people could just tell I was not having a good time. And so someone reached out to me like, "Hey, at a different shop, we're doing an Apocalypse game on the 30th. Like, you got some work you want to bring?" I was like, "Do I have some works I want to bring? Hell yeah!" So as soon as I finish these guys, then it's gonna be a mad rush to paint as many orcs as I can for an Apocalypse game on the 30th. I'm super stoked, man. That is karma. I went through a game of 7th that I didn't enjoy, you know. It was definitely not how I want to spend my time off, but I wasn't a dick about it, or I tried not to be. I'm not gonna lie, I made a little snide comment. It was not my best moment. I apologize. The guy was very anal about points and like measurements and like holy with it, which is fine. That's cool. But very particular about what scored points, what didn't. And when I asked to see the score at the end, he's like, "Well, you know you lost." It's like, "Yeah, that's fine. I just want to see the score." And then I saw he gave himself 10 points for battle ready, and some of his models were like 2 colors and no basing. And I was like, I thought battle ready was 3 colors with basing. And he's like, "Oh, well, usually it's like a gimme thing. You just give each other the 10 points." I was like, "No, yours aren't painted though." I felt kind of bad. Maybe you guys can tell me in the chat. Like I said, I'm only human, so maybe that was a bit dickish. I don't know. It's one of those things where you're only hearing my side of it, you know. So there's probably some other things I said that I don't remember. Maybe I wasn't the best opponent. I thought I was. I don't know. But like all the other it was bad when I showed up and he had a spare laser pointer and gave it to me. He's like, "These are important, Warhammer." I was like, "The fuck?" So, someone who thinks and cares enough to prepare to bring a laser pointer to make sure it's line of sight, but doesn't base his models, like, seems kind of like a weird flex. Oh, it wasn't quick, Jenny. You know, it took hours. I kept driving around in circles. Honestly, RK, it was not as bad as the Berlin game. I will say that. This guy was actually somewhat decent and nice when you actually talk to him. I made him laugh once or twice, which is kind of cool. It was not as bad as Berlin, but it was also not enjoyable. It was, I think The Witcher said it best in, like, season 1. I only watched a few episodes of that show, but when he was making fun of Yasker's song, he's like, "It's like a fresh-baked pie, but you cut into it and it has no filling." That's exactly what the whole game felt like. You're like, "Oh, this is kind of cool, I guess." I was like, "Oh, look at all these circles." Yeah. We don't talk about Berlin. Alright, so we got his uniform fixed. We got some shorts painted on him. And we're going to go back. We're going to hit the leather gear. I'm going to hit his pouch in the back. I'm going to adjust the scabbard. Fix his holster. Hit some other leather things. And then we're going to paint the weapons. Then we're going to do the wood. See, I don't know. In my opinion, Squidfist, the more, because I came home and I immediately read the rulebook to see what I got wrong, which, spoiler alert, was a lot of things. And I found out some shit he got wrong, which annoyed me, but I think Tint is a lot like Bolt Action 3rd edition. When you first play it, you play it by the rules, like the quick start rules. It's all right, but again, just like D&D, when you actually read the Dungeon Master guide, when you actually read the Bolt Action 3rd edition book, like cover to cover, there's some really cool shit in there. Same thing with Warhammer. There's some really badass shit in 10th edition. No one plays it, and that's fine. I never want to force someone to play a game they don't want to play because I know how much that sucks. But there's a lot of cool shit in the book that I'm reading. So I think the bones are there. Like I said, I'm currently building up a small Gene Stealer cult list for some 10th edition gaming. This seemed kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see. I have a lot of spare models lying around that I can like kit bash into Gene Stealer Cult, so I'm pretty excited. Hey, what's going on? Good morning. How's it going? We are trying to paint up through our natives. These are our native riflemen. You know, and here's my commander, so we're trying to get these guys painted as quick as we can. Let me crank down the brightness on that light so you guys can see a little better. I'll just strain my tiny yet slightly Asian Amish almond eyes. Yeah, I found some really cool, like, hey, what's going on, Gamer Dad? We are building up my 20 militia riflemen that I need for my big 2,500 point bolt action game. I got 2,500 of my Japanese going up against, Imperial Japanese, sorry, going up against 3,000 points of allies. These are my militia riflemen, so. Hey, what's going on, Commander? Yeah, when the great and awesome and talented Mrs. Tiki wakes up tomorrow, I'm gonna get her to freehand my Rising Sun banner. Yeah, it should be a good large-scale game. It's gonna be all day in true Tiki style. You can ask RK. I'm supplying pizza, drinks, and rum for those who are 21 age and over. So we're going to be drinking, eating pizza, rolling dice, and having a damn good time. In my opinion, how Bolt Action Common 47 should always be played. In my opinion. The rules get a lot easier when you're absolutely schmammered. We learned this at Clash of the Caribbean. I like how I keep finding YouTube videos where they keep making fun of the ship we went on. Like, I went on the worst rated ship cruise. And you watch everyone's YouTube videos and the cruise is absolutely amazing. You're like, yeah, that's what we keep telling you. Yeah, it's so the best way I can describe that cruise ship, RK, tell me if I'm wrong, you know, I finally have a witness here. The way I sell people on it is it's a lot like Helldivers. More Helldivers 1 than Helldivers 2, but it's a lot like Helldivers. Think like an indie game You know, you buy it and you get exactly what you pay for. Now, there's a whole bunch of extra cool stuff you can add on for money, but your actual ticket price is low and it gets you everything you actually need. So, that's the best way I think about it. Think of the cruise like an indie game where everything you need is actually in the price. A whole bunch of badass DLC you can tack on. Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie. So RK, I'm a huge nerd, and he saw this. Like, you guys, I geek out about ships. She's an old soul. She has all the old classic stuff. I mean, like, again, we played in a library. Not a lot of modern cruise ships have libraries. There's a chapel. I didn't get a chance to go into it because I was too busy. One of my biggest regrets. But the steam room is literally fed from like the steamers on the actual engine room, and it's like this huge concave right in the middle of the ship. It's so cool. It's a classic old design. Like, there's so many cool things about that. Yeah, working on it right now. I gotta get I'm switching over to DaVinci Resolve to start doing my videos. That'll probably be the first video I put out, is a whole huge recap of Clash of the Caribbean. That way I can be ready to take tons of footage at our next event, which is Once Upon a December. So. Ooh, if I had a choice, HS, I would choose Conflict 47 OG over the new edition. If I had to choose between Rift Dice and no Rift Dice, I would say no Rift Dice. Same thing, I don't like templates either. I like the OG version. Yak 1, oh, I can't wait to see your Yak 1. Your British plane turned out really well, but I can't wait to see your Yak. So if people are curious about the colors I do, for their actual green on the Imperial Japanese, I usually use Citadel Wall Flesh. I paint with a lot of base. I'm not a very good painter, but I paint like quantity, not quality. For their, what do you call that? Like web gear, for like cloth patches or like bags, canvas, I do Death Guard green. And then their uniforms, it's spray primered, and it's Xandri Dust or Zandari Dust. It's Xandri, that's right. I don't know why I always had the extra A. Xandri Dust. So yeah, usually their like helmets and stuff like that will be that dark green, that wall flesh, and like all their canvas gear will be Death Guard. You see in the Imperial Japanese Army, their uniform looks very similar to Soviets, but it's a lot of tan and khaki, and then this is the goat of my paint that I use the most. My absolutely beloved snakebite leather. Oh no, I hope your power comes back, buddy. Also, thank you guys for joining in an hour early. I did it not only because I have a shit ton to paint, as I'm sitting here painting one model at a time, but I want to finish my hero model. But also want to kind of capture a couple people because I know Morty went pretty late, so I want to kind of grab as many people from his audience as I could, kind of bring them over, so we could talk more Conflict 47. But HS, that was a good question, man. I prefer the old school. So I've been using just plain base Abaddon Black for years, but I heard there's a black contrast paint. Has anyone used that contrast? I think it's Black Templar. Is it any good? Or is it more for like black leather than just black, if that makes sense, right? Yes, RK, 100%. I'm not gonna lie, RK, that is one of my #1 complaints. Yeah, if you could start with either a rifle platoon or an assault platoon, if you had that option, I think most of my bitching and moaning would go away. I know it needs to be different, and like I said, I'm not a business guy, so I don't know a lot about business, but I think that's why, because you got to sell all the new stuff, and I get it, the new stuff is cool, it really is. I'm not shitting on that in any way whatsoever. But yeah, what I like is the first Conflict 47 felt like weird World War II, where Conflict 47 2nd Edition just feels like weird global war, if that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I feel like it's just missing. There's this and maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my nostalgia. Maybe it's just me being the hipster that I am. OG Comic 47 just had a very unique kind of weird World War II, like stressing the World War II part. It was military sci-fi, where I feel like Comic 47 is sci-fi wargaming. Nothing wrong with it. It's still fun. I still play the shit out of it. But I think that's the Des Cluck, what's going on? Tom Sutton, howdy, brother. But no, that's my opinion on that. So I think I enjoy the vibe and things like that. But like I said, I'm excited to get the Festo in Europa. We'll see what they're doing with the storyline. Redo a shit ton of fucking lore videos, so we'll see what happens. But I'm sure some bigger channels will be out there doing them as well too, so you'll at least get to choose how you want to adjust your lore instead of putting it with my voice. What's going on, Commander? I've been following it a little bit. You know, I'm in and out of morning streams. Is it like an old world thing? Yeah, I'm not in the streams as much as I used to be. I've just been pretty busy. There we go. So I decided to give him an SMG, and since it's my self-insert character, I gave him my favorite SMG. I gave him a grease gun. Corner of the market, Tiki. Nah. Nope, I've never been that way. I don't like that kind of stuff. I think, and obviously I couldn't because I don't have early access. So whoever wants to make it should make it. Well, no, I mean, I haven't been in the streams near as much. You know, I used to be in the streams a lot more. I'm not in there near as much anymore, you know? So, I'm trying to make it on time more and more often and contribute. Alright, so we got here. So we can finish up this grease gun. Alright, there we go. So we got his, about to put the black cap on his canteen. He's got his leather satchel to store all extra goodies, and he's got a grease gun on his back, a rifle with bayonet in his arms, and a sword. And he's got a pistol. So the reason why I did that, not just to give him the full Gary Stu loadout, but it's the way I can run him kind of however I want as a WYSIWYG, as an officer. think I'm gonna need to shade the wood on the mask. Oh wait, no, I can actually just stare at my own little dancing tiki mask thing and paint that the same colors. What is he? Got blue and red nose and green tufts. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that'll work. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see how the golden cloister works out for Conflict 47. All right. So I think the next color we're gonna work on is gonna be wood. We're gonna need to do the flagpole. We need to do the flagpole and the rifle, the grip on the pistol. Nice, and the sword. Yes, there is, Old Gamer Dad. Let me put a link to that Discord in the chat for you if you guys can put up with me being distracted for about 5 minutes here. Takes me a little bit to find it, but as soon as I do, I'll drop it in there for you, buddy. There you go. That's the big Discord for Comic 47. I know the guy started it. We kind of got it started pretty early on because he asked me if I had one. I said no, so he kind of started one, unofficial one for Comic 47. It has got insanely busy, so I'm not really in there as much anymore. But everybody's in there. You got Mike Rolls Dice, you got Cinematic Tabletop, you got me. Not that I'm that big, but you also have the guy who makes a lot of the 3D sculpts on Etsy. I always forget his name. Like, it's the cat guy, like Katsurama or whatever. So he's in there too, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that is basically the best Discord I've seen, and the mods seem pretty cool. I peek in here and there. I haven't seen the mods get too power hungry or anything like that. You know, it seems pretty legit. Seems like a pretty chill Discord. So super happy for that. I got banned from one of the Comic for Zone Reddits. I don't know why. So I just don't do Reddit at all anymore. I've been banned from the official Warhammer or Warlord Games Discord. I have no idea why. Where's the Adepticon? How far away is the Adepticon? Yeah, you know what you did. I wish I did, man. I really wish I knew what I did. End of March. Oh, you got that. Yeah. Oh no, it is March. Ooh, 40? If you okay. All right, I got you. Tom, I can help you. I think I can help you. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be enjoyable, and you will not like this. But here's what I recommend them: prime them in whatever their main color is, and pick one color a day, right? Like for these guys, if the color of the day was leather, I would pick up every model and paint every leather thing on them, like the slings or whatever the hell it is they're using, you know. Or if the color is wood, I get my brown that I use for wood and paint it. One color a day. So as long as you're not going batshit crazy with colors and details, you should be able to finish after like a week and a half of good hard painting. It's tough. It's not enjoyable. It's like batch painting from hell. There's batch painting, which I can do 10, but I don't like it. I hover around like 5 or 6 or 7 to maintain a good personality when I batch paint, but I can do 10. 10's my breaking limit. But 1 color a day. That's how I get through a lot of the stuff. Okay, yeah, you can do 1 item. So that's the problem with the boots and guns and pants. Is on a bad day, you'll pick that, and then you start running out of stuff, and then you end up with a lot, and it's kind of a pain. And then the shades look different. 80 I think was my max. Good lord. He's a machine. So I say that as I have these whole huge things to paint, and I'm not doing that because I'm specifically just working on this one model, but this is the guy I really want to get done. Alright, next up we're doing the wood. After I take a nice big swig of rum and coke here. Today is a simple day. Today is Captain Morgan Private Stock with Coke Zero. Actually, I think it's Diet Pepsi. I don't know. Whatever's in my fridge. Alright. We got some Surf Rock, tasty adult beverage, and we got models to paint. Sorry, I'm always trying to remind myself to paint in camera here. Super easy to do. Opinion on American rum. So rum is one of the more whiter alcohol categories. Technically, anything distilled from any kind of sugar, even if that's like corn syrup or like potato starch, like any kind of sugar distilled is rum. But if you want my opinion, some of the best American rum can be found in 3 places. In my opinion. Well, maybe more. Hawaii makes good rum. Very expensive. Very hard to get. The cool reason with that is their history, you know, which is, spoiler, not a peaceful history. King Kamehameha absolutely kicked some dicks in his time. But as they came over, you know, from Polynesia and they came to these islands, they brought sugarcane from every island they stopped at. And so now when the sugarcane grows in the islands of Hawaii, it's multiple different varietals of sugarcane, which is super rare. Pretty cool for rum. But the rum's very expensive. I hear the American Virgin Islands may make a decent rum. Puerto Rican rum isn't bad, but I'm a huge fan of Floridian rum. What makes Floridian rum, I think, a little bit more different than what you'll find in some of the islands is we have a very healthy bee population, relatively healthy. Because a lot of the orange groves and wildflowers, we get a very distinct type of honey taste. And so a lot of the places that double as meaderies are also rum distilleries. So you get a lot of honey-based Florida rum. So you get Florida sugarcane and also, you know, honey from the orange groves. So you get kind of like a very interesting mead rum with a little bit of honey to it. Very good. Oh, no, you're good. Yeah, hopefully it wasn't me who was lagging. I'm sorry, buddy. Hopefully you're able to catch up. Yeah, sorry, I got a little detailed on one of my many favorite topics, rum. Yeah, hey, no shame to those who don't drink. You know, some people like drinking, some people don't. Totally understandable. I don't look at you any which way if you do or don't. Ooh, I have been to Beer Fest in Munich when I was stationed over in Europe. That was fun. I got drunk and passed out on the hill. I feel like it's a rite of passage. Maybe it's a tourist. I don't care. It was fun. But I will say this, unpopular opinion. You ready for this? You ready for this? It's how to upset an entire country. Best beer I ever had is Belgium. Hands down. Hands the fuck down. Best beer. Like, random brand by random brand, just like go to a bar, just keep picking one. Belgium. Belgium knocked it out of the park, man. Huge fan. It's a me Rev. Yeah, that's what I use for this guy. He's the D&D monk. I just cut off his ponytail and I painted his mask wooden. Focus camera, focus. You have one job. I think he just doesn't like the massive white banner. There it is. Yeah, this is the D&D monk, and he has a little tiki on his belt, which is kind of cool. There's also another good, if you want to use another good tiki model, it's a little bit harder to find or more expensive, but if you check out Frostgrave, they're a ghost arpellago. They actually have like a few metal models. They have like this one tiki shaman. He's pretty cool. Nice, that's my tiki model too. Yeah, nice. Oh, it's cool you have a tiki model, man. That's awesome. How you doing, Rev? Yeah, I love you and Mike Rolls Dice's battle raps, man. Not in a creepy way, but one of these days I'll coordinate with you guys and I'll make my way up north. I'd love to get a game in with you guys. Give him a bamboo spear. Yep, that's appropriate. That's what you do. Speaking of which, just painted this little tiki belt thing right there. We need tiki model merch. Well, like I said, any good thing is kit bash, you know, so that's really hard to do. Well, it's funny you say that. I'm still trying to get someone to 3D print my zombie hula girls. Once I get that, dude, I will sell those at every event I go to. I will just have like 100 of them batch painted and just start selling them for like cost, of course, not for profit. I just cannot find anyone because all I have is just the STL that you get from Hero Forge. I don't know if it's a shit STL or what, but no one's really been able to follow through on the printing. But I would desperately like some zombie hula ghouls. Alright, so we've got his little flagpole painted. He's like, send me the files! I'll send them to you, Tom. Tom, are you in the continental U.S.? If you are, we'll set up a price for me to purchase the models from you once you print them. That way I can make sure you're reimbursed for your hard work. All right, next we're gonna do this rifle. Pretty sure this rifle arm came off a French kit. There's some fidgets. Illinois, yep. All right, nice. Let me see the arm. All right, hold on. Yeah, it is the World War I camera fix. Yeah, it's the World War I just painted his sleeve a little bit. It's a World War I French, which is one of the boxes I highly recommend. If you guys are doing kit bashing of like Indochina or any of the island colonies in World War II or anything in North Africa, Wargame Atlantic's World War I French box. Yeah, it's definitely something with Maz. you're ever doing North African or any kind of like East Asian colony, you know, like French Indochina or anything like that, grab that Wargame Atlantic World War I French box. The amount of bits in that box is disgustingly awesome. That's one of those boxes where you open it up, you're like, oh my goodness. The value. Highly recommend it. Sure thing, Squid Fist. Let me finish painting all the wood on this guy, and I'll take a look for you, brother. By the way, it was your Squid Fist. It was your Rhino, that red digital one that ran over. I guess he had these Scorpec destroyers or something like that. Apparently, they're real dangerous against infantry, so I ran him over. So your truck absolutely got some kills that game. Yeah, there's no healing wounds when you get, you know, hit with a bumper. Yeah, my long list of armies, I think I'd have funded some partisans. I'd probably do like Dutch resistance, but I have so many extra bits that it would be pretty awesome to build. Let me just make sure that's all the wood before I pop over and check the Discord real quick. I had to redo the white on the dick tab. That's fine. I'm about to redo the white on the flag. Alright. Yeah, my orc army is still steadily growing. I just keep adding vehicles. I tried the whole like Green Tide boys and trucks. I mean, it was fun, but boys aren't as durable as I thought they would be. And I was like, huh, alright, well, I'm just gonna run people over with cars now. And I started looking at vehicles. Alright. Let me check the Discord real quick, see what we got going on. For those who are curious, I'm actually just checking. Oh yeah, I love those doors. It's very like Ottoman style, but I really like it. A lot of people thought the Ottomans really just use like more green base, but I fucking love those. Oh, they're so good. Oh, I thought it was just like chaos doors. Oh no, oh man, the castle's great. Oh my god. Did you build that siege tower like popsicle stick by popsicle stick? Jesus. I'm gonna stop bitching, man. Your stuff looks awesome. Looks like a lot more hard work than mine. Cool stuff, Squid. Huge fan. There were Turkish chaos doors. Yeah, well, I say yeah, because I think Ottoman, I think green, but that color is almost very Turkish, you know? Nice little choice. Nobody said they'd be good ones. Oh, that's pretty good. Stick by stick. Holy shit, that's impressive. I was building terrain for a Mordheim League, but the store's getting closed, so I stopped doing that. But I was building the, basically like the ladders in between destroyed buildings and stuff. I was building those out of coffee stirrer sticks. You know, like almost like simple gangway planks. Venice, yeah. Those who don't know, TT Combat, they sell a lot of terrain. They actually sell pre-painted terrain now. Their MDF is pre-painted. They actually have whole Venetian quarters you can get. One day. A lot of people are like, if I won the lottery, I win 21, would there be signs? Yeah, in my Venetian-themed study, I'd have an entire San Marco square built in 28mm in my study. Plus, not probably the hardest paint to use. Fixing my flag and my guy's dick towel. Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best place to do the, like your firefight rules for Bolt Action or Conflict 47. Do it in a 3x3 Venice map. Because it's basically going to be like World War II Necromunda. Alright, so now we painted the wood. I'll have to go back and hit it with another coat. We're going to paint the white on there. If you do use the D&D miniatures, make sure to soak them first. I always like to soak in a little bit of water and soap. Sometimes the paint doesn't stick. They're like, oh, these are pre-primed. Still prime them. Yeah, this camera and light is hold on. Absolutely hates this white flag. There we go. Let's see if that's any better. Oh no. Kind of. It just does not like that ginormous white flag. So I think it was like my second or third game of Conflict 47, like full-size Conflict 47, was done on a Mordheim board. I have some pictures on that. It'll be in a video. I'll talk about it. That was an so what was cool was it was an unfair mission. We both knew it from the start, and we absolutely loved it. And it was probably the most fun I've had in Conflict 47, me playing. It was a full Mordheim board. All my Imperial Japanese started in like ambush and hidden. He got prepared for a bombardment, and as Soviets, he had to try and get his two heavy walkers off my side of the table. So it turned into an absolute guerrilla city fight, trying to stop those behemoth walkers. I didn't have anything that could pop them. So, you know, you're sitting there trying to pull out every trick in the book, like really forcing yourself to think. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm actually about to go hit up the big box pet stores tomorrow when I take Mrs. Tiki out to eat before work. We're gonna hit up some big box pet stores, see if I can pick up some more like big rock formation for terrain. You guys know I'm always a sucker for those because I'm lazy. They're great for like tropical boards or desert boards. Pre-painted and tough, you know. Also cool because it has holes in it, so when you play like true line of sight, you know, you'd be like, yeah, I can see right through that rock formation. I can see right through that hole. I'm going to shoot your ass. Glorious. Alright, there's the white fixed. No, yeah, don't toss me any rocks. I'm good. Like, that's one of my favorite stories when I asked Miss Tiki to like paint some like hieroglyphics on one of my Egyptian tanks that I turn over, and her being the absolute rock like genius she is, she actually has like some of our books on Egyptology like from the study open up. She's actually sitting there like, why do you have the book open? She's like, oh, I want to make sure I'm actually. I was like, are you actually writing something? She's like, yeah, it says Eye of Horus. Like, oh, for the love of God, please don't actually write anything in hieroglyphics on the tank. I don't want to get haunted by a toy in the middle of the night. I'm going to do the Hilt of the Sword and Balthazar Gold. Oh, hey, that's the whole point. Welcome to it, Gunley. That's all it is. This is a very unstructured, unproductive stream for me. You know, I always have these things I want to do and I never really get around to it. I get distracted like squirrel. The whole story behind it is as I'm trying to create the whole, you know, Toonami midnight run style vibe. So this stream is always super late at night. It usually runs from 01 to 03 Eastern on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. It doesn't interfere with anybody else's streams. We're not pulling anyone else's viewership away, and it's always uncensored and unedited. So we just kind of say whatever we want, just chill and chat here, swap stories, tell stuff. It's always a chill time. Glad you're liking it, man. Yeah, and there's me, yeah. Just a normal dude, but that's the other thing too is it's easy for me to say because the channel is small, but if the channel ever does get bigger, I don't do donations. I don't ever ask people to like or subscribe. I won't work with any companies either. It's just me. I have a job, and this is just my chill time. So any opinion I give you is absolutely 100% my opinion. It may not always be right. There's plenty of times I've been wrong, but it's always my opinion. I have those sponsors. I can kind of say whatever. Hey, School Cutter Sean, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, watch Tiki paint his 35th Chiha. I do have an unhealthy amount, so I counted the other day. I have 11 painted, and I think I still have 3 in box and 2 on sprue. So yeah, the Chiha collection is unhealthy. They all happened, I want to say accidentally, but eh. I'm painting this part off screen just because it's real delicate. I don't want to get any paint on the big ass white flag I just did. Alright, there we go. Alright, we got his hair in now. Alright, he's getting there. Alright. Actually, it's enough for him for one day. I'm going to move on. Start working on the locals, the natives. Can I run a list with 11 Chihas? Yeah, I've actually built a full ass list. So you absolutely can. What you have to do is you have to run these. So if you run 2 for Bolt Action 3rd Edition, if you run 2 infantry platoons with just an inexperienced home defense officer and 2 5-man militia rifle things, that frees you up points to take. And if you go inexperienced tanks, you can bring a shit ton. But yeah, you can get up to a mass amount of Chihas. So you can at least run a company, which is about 8. Alright, so I think for these guys, we're going to go with wood first. I think wood is going to be our color. So just like I was telling, sorry guys, my memory shit. I want to say it was, as he cheats and scrolls back up through chat. It was Tom. Yeah, it was Tom. That's what I was giving the advice to. Pick a color and do all that color. I mean, you could still say, so the bonsai rule got nerfed a lot. Even the new bonsai, it's okay, but it's not as cool as it used to be, you know? So I haven't bonsai charged in a long time. The last bonsai charge I had was in OG Conflict 47, and that was in the battle Tijuana. Yeah, Tijuana. 1947 was the last time I bonsai'd. It was awesome. So Conflict 47 Japan plays a lot more sneaky beaky like. You get a lot of points, or you get a lot of benefits for being in ambush, you know, especially behind cover. So I highly recommend playing your Imperial Japanese a little bit more like a I'd say like a panther, like kind of hiding up in the trees, you know. Ooh, Ginny, that is a bold thing to say. I don't think I could ever say that, because I am not that good of a wargamer. But I think there's different styles, maybe. And I finally found a style that I could still keep with my Imperial Japanese and use. And again, it helps that I have a shit ton of Chihas. So, I don't know if that's the right way to play as the Imperial Japanese, but it's a way. And I can tell you right now, it's effective. The only Rift Tech units I use so far in my army is the Shibaru snipers, and combining that with guts on an officer, and the zombies. That's it. Have Chi will ha. Damn it, that's... Okay, that may be going... When I fix the shirts, that may be going on a shirt. That's a fucking good one. I like that. Have Chi will ha. Absolutely. That's a good one, man. That was a good one. Alright. Painting all my NCO's drums first. Like I said, right now we're using Thondia Brown, the Citadel base coat. To be fair, Ginny's the best. The comment for the player chat. My list for December has 0 Rift dice. Oh, I love it. I love it. Which probably is. Yeah, so what we're doing, for these guys who don't know, if you're in the Florida area, please feel free to swing by. So April 17th and 18th, I want to say. Yeah, 17th and 18th. It's a Friday and a Saturday. We're doing Once Upon a December. It's a big Conflict 47 game. We're doing 2,000 points versus 2,000 points. The big difference is instead of starting with a Rift platoon, you start with an armored platoon as your base platoon. So one armored platoon unlocks all your other platoons. And there's going to be big, huge tank and walker battles. It's a second Russian Civil War. OSS and SOE found a girl claiming to be Anastasia, and they put her back on the throne. So the Russians are beefing right now, having a civil war, while the Axis and Empire Japan try and make some land grabs. I think so. Yeah, as I said, hopefully you can bring out some of your big boy stuff. So that's the whole point. If people get all these big walkers to take, they never get a chance to use them. Like, bring it all, man. They're gonna be big, huge, wide open, snowy map tables. Same thing. There'll be prize support, you know, for most talented, most tactical, and most Tiki. I hear that Conflict plays more games into sleep. I made Morty mad, yeah, first time. I think I've annoyed him a couple times. I like that overall. I like him a lot. But there's times that I don't always agree and I push back. I think one of the big ones was when he was first talking about the Imperial Japanese starter box, the second edition Conflict 47, and he said it was better than the original, and I was like, "Are you fucking high?" It's like $150 and you get like 12 models. That's like some Games Workshop shit. He's like, yeah, but they're really good models. That's all you really need. I was like, I can build you a 1250 point list with the old one. He's like, no, you can't. I was like, all right, hold my beer. You know, let me get my whiteboard. And then I told him that like, like what has to meet the assault platoon. I was like, oh, easy. So I used some of the troops that came in the OG Imperial Japanese starter box, and I made them as Shibita's zombies. He's like, oh, you can't do that. He's like, that's not by the rules. I was like, it's kit bashing. Where do you think zombies came from? And I filled up the points by using some troops as like air observers and stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, you just went and built a full army. And then I think he heard it in his voice. I'm like, yes. I was like, that's the point. I do remember Bad Rabbit. Yeah, where has Bad Rabbit been? I was actually about to reach out to him. I saw him hop in one stream one time, but I'm actually about to reach back out to Bad Rabbit because I want to send him his patch from Clash of the Caribbean. I hope he's okay. Oh yeah, Bad Rabbit's great people. Yeah, Rabbit's good peeps. Fear not, I shall reach out tomorrow and check on the Rabbit. Hopefully he's okay. Wait, what happened? Did MG and Rabbit, something happen with them? Squiggle Rashawn. Oh man, nice. Squiggle Rashawn was there when Squiggle Rashawn's the guy I go to when I get annoyed, by the way. I'm still human, I get pissed and stuff. Something happened the other day and I was pissed off and I reached out to Squiggle Rashawn and he kinda like slapped some sense into me and I was like, oh, I'm just being a bitch. She's like, eh. I was like, okay, cool, fair enough. I go to Squiggle Rashawn for painting tips and like general modeling life advice. He's like my wise old sensei. Oh, fair enough. No worries. Yeah, no worries. No sense talking about what could be beef. Third party, you know, I don't want to perpetuate any stories, so I'll just reach out to him, talk to him. That being said, usually I avoid any kind of beef, and this isn't really beef, but I could say I was there for it. I don't think this is beef, but if any of you guys watch the Red Ones Go Fasta, I was talking to him, and I was in his Discord when that one guy did the drop of the box, you know, of the new Orc War Boss. So this, and then you know, he took a look at it. He's like, I think this is real. And he went ahead and made a video. He did a real short video on it, which is super cool. And then Auspex Tactics picks up right after the Red Ones Goes Fasta and runs it. Now usually it's like, hey, is anyone really copying anyone? I mean, the information comes out. What is it? But the difference is, I was there. Me and a couple of the guys were there in the Discord when it dropped. Like, the leak originated. It dropped into the Red Ones Goes Fasta's Discord. You know, and if you play Orcs, he's one of the guys to go to. Him, Wall Tactics, and a few others. But they all hang out in his Discord. And so we all saw that picture come in. And we saw him do the video like, oh, this is awesome. You're breaking it. Like, the Orc guy, you know, because he had a broken arm for a while, so he couldn't make videos. Like, this is awesome. The Orc guy, you know, gets to break, you know, the Orc, you know, like, leak. That is so cool. The Auspex Tactics ran with it and did not say a fucking word about it, which is weird. I've never seen that. I'm like, because usually, like, yeah, a lot of us did. I'm in there too, Commander. Like, if Commander HHL's told me something, or a good example, if somebody has told me something about Conflict 47, I'm like, hey, is this public information? He said no. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna sit on it then. I'm not gonna say anything. But if he told me information, he's like, yeah, you can release this to the public. I'd be like, hey, can I use your name? And he could say yes or no. And then when I release the video, I'll be like, hey, this came from so-and-so. Let me make sure I put credits. Like, not even, maybe not in the video, but even just like in the description. But when Auspex dropped that video, it wasn't in the video. His sponsor information was, but not the guy who actually found the leak. You know, and it wasn't anywhere, and no mention to the channel or anything, or that OG video. That came out like 30 minutes to an hour before he did his. You know, like, what the fuck? That was insane. Again, there's no shame, there's no beef or anything, but, like, usually you, like, credit people, you know, because it's a small space. You know, but I saw that, I was like, damn. Yeah, you always try and credit people, man. Hey, Squark, what's going on, buddy? It's the man, the myth, the legend. I loved your song, brother. Oh no. Playing a little too high on that drum. There we go. Yeah, I started the stream a little bit early. I tried to start it right as NG was closing his, but I had some tech issues, so I started like a little bit later. But I've been going for a while because I got to get all these native militiaman rifles painted by Tuesday for my big game. I'm just excited to get some like cool chill wargaming in. I'm talking like pizza, drinks, rum and cokes, man. It's gonna be a good time. Optional, of course. I'm not gonna force anybody to drink before anyone like freaks out. I'm not gonna give a minor alcohol either. Nice! Congratulations on being in the order, Spark. Congratulations on being initiated. May you days cluck. Yeah, so I don't think that's beef, and I'm not like a beef tuber either. But the only reason why I mentioned it, and you can ask Commander, because if he was there, he probably saw me. I was in the Discord. I was in his video too. Like I watched the whole thing happen. I was like, motherfuck. I was like, damn, that's some cold ass shit. Like a good example, when I started doing my Conflict 47 lore videos, before I did it, you know, I searched all of YouTube to see if anyone else was doing it, and somebody did. And he sped run them, like he condensed them into like short videos. I actually forget the name now, but I credited it in all my lore videos, or at least my first one. And in my first ever, like, what is Conflict 47, I actually referenced him by name. Like, oh hey, he's already beat me to the punch, go check out his videos, you know? Right, I'm so tired of bad feels. But then he said, and then she said, and then he said. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to tell the story, but not like in a beef way, just like in a, like, I literally watched that whole thing unfold, and then, like, the whole world blew up about, oh, it's an 11th edition leak. And I was like, oh, it's so cool, I was actually there at the leak. Nah, he didn't, it's not a beef, he didn't really do anything. No, Red Ones Goes Fasta, he got the leak in his Discord. We were there, and we're all talking about it, so once he confirmed it basically as best he could, based on his experience, and went live with it, he made a video. And then other people made videos. And no one credited him. It was kind of sad. So yeah, it's not drama. It's just like, oh, okay. Just subbed. The thumbs down was a whoopsie trying to hit the like. No worries. Hey, you can thumb it down too. That's fine. Hey, appreciate your sub, man. Hopefully you come back. We do this Saturdays and Sunday morning for me, 01 to 03. So it works out well for people all over the world because different time zones. We just hang out here. We chit chat about Conflict 47, about really anything. I'm just trying to focus more on the chill side of wargaming. You can see me paint badly for no extra charge. Sorry, I had a rum. Nah, like I said, I don't do the whole like lose my respect thing. Anyone who does this full time, so that's my big thing, and I don't mean this in a negative way. So I don't think you can hold like, what do we call this, amateurs like me and professional YouTubers in the same category, right? People who do this for a living, they live by a whole different set of rules because this is how they provide for their family. You know, they could be supporting some other people. You don't know what all people do with their money, so I don't really cast shame, I guess, on like professional YouTubers. Anyone who does it for the money, that's perfectly fine. Described. Crown and tea, that's not bad. Actually, you know what I had? Speaking of Crown and tea, Matthew, I was drinking this the other day. Are you ready for this? Earl Grey and any of your orange liqueur you prefer. So like Grand Marnier, there's tons of like local orange liqueurs here in Florida. But yeah, a hot Earl Grey tea with a little bit of orange liqueur. It is delicious. Those of you who saw in the news, Florida had some cold snaps. It was raining iguanas down south, so I had to have a warm drink. Alright. I think this is one of my favorite models. I got tired of just giving him all rifles, so he still has this rifle. You know, a big WYSIWYG guy, but also gave him a legit war club. That war club is fucking awesome. Yeah, instead of doing like feathers, which I think is what you're supposed to do, I'm painting all mine like green leaves. This is gonna add a little bit more to the camo, you know, because that's kind of style I'm going for. But what I would recommend, so this Aztec box, so I used the Aztec box from Wargame Atlantic. I used the Frostgrave Ghost Arpelago Natives box, and I also have a Blood and Plunder Native American box. What would be cool with this is if you ever want to do a Tau army and do like Kroot with like Imperial Guardsmen, do your Imperial Guardsmen like Feral Guardsmen like this, you know, and put them with Kroot, that'd be kind of cool. No, we met in public and I tried to follow you in your bathroom, but you would refuse to show me your Kroot, so it was unfortunate. No, joking around. But no, I haven't actually seen your Kroot. I would love to. And yes, actually, that's actually a true story. I was lucky enough to actually get to hang out with Squark in person. He is absolutely the exact same chill guy he comes off as in person. He's a super chill dude, super cool. As advertised. I'll go back over those spikes and something else we need with the wood right now. Trying to go back over those spikes on the War Club with brass to make it look like he put like shell casings, like 8mm Nambu shell casings in the wood club. Get the idea from Fall Vegas, you know? But use a Japanese ammo like Nambu 8mm. Alright. Are you getting such a great white out of your white? You're all looking for a delicious rum. Try Apple First Rum Bouillon Spiced Rum. Ooh. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Glenn Lee. I appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow the next time we stream as well. Hey, Cosmic! The one, the only. My brother quite possibly from a different mother. How's it going, buddy? Okay, so how am I getting such a good white out of the white? I spray primer tan, and then I just go over it with white. Or are you talking about the snow? Because the snow... I did the snow last stream. The snow is a little bit different. I use a... I'm using just the Corvix... Oh, shit, where'd it go? I'm using just the old school Citadel Corvix White. I just shake it really well and absolutely beat it against the table like it owes me money, you know? And then I just, I don't know, use it. I just make sure I just use a couple coats, I guess. I don't know. Accidental. I appreciate the comment, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Now, if you're curious about the snow, let me grab the stuff for it. So the snow is a 1-2 combo. I know Morty was just showing off his urban basing, which I actually really like, and I'm going to copy and steal. But for my snow, I use the Apple Barrel white matte. And then I use AK Terrain Snow. They have a lot of different types. They'll have like beads and stuff like that, but I like just the regular one. And it looks like marshmallow fluff. And you just literally fluff it on as thick as you want the snowbanks. It's awesome stuff. Helps that you're on vacation, yeah. Nice. Yeah. Welcome to the stream, Colin. Glad to drink with us. Yeah, I'm doing one of my favorite classic rums. It's widely available and very approachable in price, and really good for what it is. But it is very sweet. So it's the Captain Morgan Private Stock, and I keep mine in the freezer. And I follow my classic 2 rule. So 2 fingers of Captain Morgan Private Stock. I added 1 ice cube. Let it sit for 2 minutes. Or no, let it sit for 1 minute, give it a swirl, then add in the second ice cube, let it sit for another minute. So it's 2, 2, 2. 2 fingers, 2 ice cubes, let it sit for 2 minutes. And it's good on the rocks. But now I've added a whole bunch of Coke Zero to it, so. I haven't. I was actually so funny because you were in the stream the other day, or we were talking the other day, and I walked right by the grenadine. It's in my freezer, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna try. Sorry, not my freezer, it's in my fridge. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna try that soon. I'm trying to come up with a good tiki drink that has grenadine. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna do a really good tequila sunrise with it. Cause I feel like the tequila sunrise with like a coconut tequila, I think that hibiscus that you put in there is gonna come off real well. All right, let me get back to, we get some more painting in. There we go. Then I turned 21. Say what you want, man. I like it. It's I get the caffeine from the cola nut, you know, and I get the liquor from the rum. It's a good effect. Sometimes you don't need to go simplistic, you know, or sometimes you don't need to go all fancy. Just nice and simplistic. But I will say this: a well-made rum and cola is a game changer. Bunch of pirates in the stream, exactly. Yeah, the OG Cuba Libre is actually really, really good. Especially if you get like a really good Key West lime. Oh yeah. So my jam, and again, you can ask RK, because Mrs. Tiki limited me, I'm assuming for my heart, you know, but my jam, as disgusting as it sounds, is Red Bull and Malibu. Malibu coconut rum and Red Bull is my go-to. And apparently, I get quite chatty. So during the event at Cruise of the Caribbean, what was my limit? Was it 3? I think she'd say 3, I'd say 4, and then she'd start counting down to 2, and I'd be like, fine, 3. So yeah, I think I was allowed to have 3. Sailor Jerry's, yeah. Oh, I have Sailor Jerry's in the fridge. So when I was young, that was my rum of choice. And our thing with Sailor Jerry's, not a liquor, it's a lifestyle. Because a lot of my tattoos are Sailor Jerry style flashes. So it's actually kind of cool. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the other thing the ship makes really, really well. Their espresso martinis are stupid good. I saw a lot of people drinking those, a lot of espresso martinis. Because we had to stay awake to play the game, but we also wanted to drink. So yeah, espresso martinis were flying around left and right. We had whole ass tables just filled with empty drinks. And every time one of us had to go like hit the head, we'd make a run full of empty glasses back to the bar. As soon as I have another one scheduled, I will let y'all know the dates, and I highly recommend attending the next Clash of the Caribbean. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Clash of the Caribbean was the first event I held, and I think it was a success. We went on a cruise ship, the Margaritaville Paradise at Sea. It was a 2-day cruise from Palm Beach, Florida to the Bahamas, to Nassau. And so what it was is we scheduled the gaming in the library on the cruise ship. And we gamed from, it was 7 p.m. till about midnight on both days. It's only a 2-day cruise. So that still leaves the whole rest of the time for you to do whatever you want on the cruise ship, including going ashore and doing your own thing. So hopefully you can ask them, there's plenty of time to hang out with your +1 or your spouse or whoever it is you bring. You know, plenty of stuff to do on the ship, and then there's also wargaming at night. And the library, ironically, was right next to a stage with live music and within walking distance of a bar, so. A gorilla fart drink. Never had a gorilla fart. 3-month cruise. Nope. Hell no. See if I flash to get the heart attack. No, I would say I've worked on ship for 6 months. That was a long time. Yeah, 2-day cruise is just right. Like, you don't, it's almost like there and gone. You know, you don't really get too tired of, there's nothing happens repetitively enough within 2 days that you'll get tired of it, you know? It was just enough. Yeah, you do. My favorite old fashioned is the rum is very particular. You need to use Diplomatico Reserva because it has that very bergamot orange rind kind of finish aftertaste to it. So I like making rum old fashions, but specifically with Diplomatico Reserva or Reserva rum. Rum's not crazy expensive. It can be hard to find though. What about a 3-hour tour? Oh yeah, no. So the cool thing, so I'm trying to run events now, and the cool thing about doing your wargaming event on a cruise is it covers your room and board, right? Your ticket covers, you know, where you'll be staying and where you'll be eating, and you don't have to worry about like traffic or like being late to the actual game because you just walk down a couple decks. Ooh, damn, that does sound like a good old-fashioned. I'd do that. Sent my crew. There were some that should kill team. Oh god, I can't wait to look at those. Alright, let me finish a couple more wooden things so I can do a little bit of damage, then I'll check my Discord. If people are curious, they're sending me these pictures on Discord in a direct message. I don't run a like Discord for the channel. I have some, but they're for specific uses like recording or for like I used to run one for D&D and stuff like that, so I don't really have one for the channel. I don't want you guys to feel like you're left out or anything. Ooh, there we go. Let me paint this guy and I'll check it out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cruise ships. Oof. Yeah, 2 days, you avoid all the drama, the food's really good, and the cool thing is, the ship is in port, like, every day, so everything on the ship is fresh, you know, like, there's nothing, all the food, all the personnel, like, everything is, it's nice. That was the cool thing is, so like on your first day, you have like you sail away at like 4 p.m. from Palm Beach, Florida, and then there's a cool sail away party. There's all sorts of cool stuff going on. Like there's always something going on the ship. Tons of live music, It's just an older style ship, so there's not like go-kart attractions or like water slides. No, this is like a classic, it's like a miniature ocean liner. So there's bars everywhere, piano lounges, a huge theater. You know, it's a classic style ship. So we war game, you know, from 7 p.m. all the way to like 11 or 12. And then you go to bed and you wake up to the sounds of being in port. You wake up to Bahama. You know, you check out your window, or you walk to your nearest window or porthole, depending if you're staying inboard or a window room, and you can literally see the Bahamas. So got my V card punch there. Yeah, and the port was right next to some sketchy areas, you know, so that was pretty fun. We all got there a little early. We were kind of curious where to park and wait, and there were some sketchier places than other places. Like, let's just wait closer to the port. But for my first rated event, I don't think it went too badly. No one died, you know. There were no fights. There was no cheating. So, I don't know. I think it went alright. I said video to come. Go figure all this stuff out. Alright, let me check out some Discord stuff. Alright, first up is RK. Check out his planes. Oh, God, they look good. I'm liking the yak. I think, I like them both, but I think I like the yak more. I like the painting on the yak. That's cool. Alright, next up, we have Spark! Oh, his Groot! Oh, his Groot look good. Oh, shit. Okay. The white skull face you did on those things that the Groot are riding. Those look absolutely awesome. Groot Kill Team is on my list to do, like, very Tiki style, like parrot style with all sorts of feathers and stuff. Oh, they look good. Yeah, those guys look awesome. Your crew look great, man. Ooh, now checking out Matthew's stuff. Oh, yeah. Matthew, those like power axes? Those are pretty cool. Yeah, those look like some kind of like plasma or power axe. That's really cool. I like the heads and helmets on those. Oh no, he did a fire team. Kill team, sorry. Oh yeah, thanks for subscribing. I'm not sure if there's like a little like jingle or thing went off on the screen. Hopefully it did, saying you subscribed. I don't think I heard it or saw it, but hopefully it popped up on screen. I try to run like a very low, I know with all my little like flash icons on screen, but I try and run a less intensive stream so it doesn't like crash anybody's computer. Plasma axes, yeah, there they are. Yeah, the Warpaint guy was the coolest. Yeah, I think my brother is really enjoying Warhammer 40k. I think he's getting second army sickness, so I think he might actually start the Votan. I almost started Votan. I was reading the lore and I really liked it. Because I love Ferengi. Ferengi are like my all-time favorite sci-fi race. I was like, oh, the Votan just Ferengi? So I was like, kind of. And I was like, oh, let me research. Let me look at it. I started a Gene Stealer Cult army in 9th because I wanted to do Crusade, but it didn't take off. So I ended up selling most of my stuff to Bob the Gene Stealer, actually. I sent him a lot of my stuff. So now I'm rebuilding it. But now I'm a little more confident in my kit bashing skills, so I'm kit bashing. Like, all the heroes are all going to be kit bashed. So. When I was looking, I was telling my brother about it. I was like, "Yeah, I like these, you know, Rusty Claw, the outrigger thing." It's like, so it's basically just like your speed feed for orcs. It's like, look, man, I have a type, all right. I like Gaslands, and I like to play Gaslands in other tabletop games. Don't judge me, all right. All right, we're working on a lot of the wood. Got a couple more weapons to go, and then we'll start working on the rifles. I must away. All right, well, Squart, take it easy, brother. I will be streaming again tomorrow. It's always a great time when you show up, man. Always happy to chit chat with you. Always a good dude, man. Take care, my brother, man. Nice, he is back with vodka. We said Gaslands, not really grasslands, but we said Gaslands. I will safely say that. So, I love the turn mechanic for bolt action, right? I think it's one of the most superior turn mechanics for tabletop wargaming. But other than the turn mechanic, I think Gaslands is probably one of my favorite tabletop games. Especially when you play a mode like where you're running over zombies, like who can run over the most zombies and shit. Gaslands is phenomenal. Alright. We're working, we're painting. I think I saw another guy needed a weapon painted. Where'd you go? Curious, start painting you guys green, all you tan bastards blended in. Okay. Oh, there he is. So as you can tell, yeah, a lot of these guys came from like the Aztec box. Because I needed sleeved arms, you know, for some of these rifles. So that's why I went with the whole like little Jaguar suits. But I'm going to paint them green. Like this guy's a good example of what the actual Jaguar suits will look like. Just to make them kind of blend in better. Squig and Sean, are you talking about the tabletop game, or are you talking about them just driving on the loop? For those of you who aren't from the East Texas, Houston area, it's a joke. Yeah, the double loop system that Texas cities like Houston and San Antonio have are an absolute shit show for traffic. I say that, but I live right next to the worst road in the entire continental U.S. I-4. I-4 is, by definition, Fury Road. Not if there's a newer YouTube channel. If there's a newer one, I'll have to check it out. I did order a bunch of Gasland terrain, but I scaled it up to 28 and 32 millimeter. So I'm hoping to get some actual like Warhammer 40k style terrain that's built for like Gasland. So I want to have like ramps. I have this whole like orc / like wooden fort to build. So I'm trying to get a really cool tabletop map going for Warhammer 40k. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. If they're doing Adepticon in the same place next year, I'm going to try and make it. Especially if I've ever 1K, that'll be my goal. If I make it to 1,000 subscribers, I'll definitely try. It's not a rush. Please don't run out there. It's not a recruitment drive. It's not petty like that. But then I think I can like go there and people might know who I am. So I'll go to Adepticon if I make it to 1,000 next year. I'll probably stay. I think I have some friends and family in like Indiana, so I'll probably stay there and just drive up from Indiana to wherever Adepticon is. All right, I'll get on my alternate. No, Cosmic, it's okay. No, I like that. I like that everything in this channel is pretty organic. You know, so get the old accounts out. No, stop it. No, under the radar is the best place to be. Like, I'm pretty sure even Warlord Games doesn't know who I am, so I absolutely love that. That would be cool to meet up with MG again. The first time was fucking legendary. That was hysterical, so it'd be cool to meet up with him again. I'd like to get in a game against MG. That'd be fun. We see the Tiki tapes. Dude, if they do know who I am, they are not amused. I have nothing against them, but I just don't. Everyone keeps telling me to reach out, but I'm just not going to. I'm just going to keep doing my thing. Just hope I don't get sued. That's all I want. Alright. Let's work on some wood on the rifles here. He sent the lizard until he cross versus the walls. But yeah, if I'm ever up that way, Cosmic, I'll absolutely play you. So I was supposed to play tabletop command post. Is that what it is? It's tabletop CP or something like that. I was supposed to play him when I had my work trip out to California, but I was so excited because I didn't even want to go out there. And I was like, do I really? I was trying to put it off for another year, but like, hey, you really need to come out here. I'm like, fuck. And then I reached out to him. I was like, hey man, you said you're in California. I was like, oh, we could set up a game. And then the time that I was gonna visit, he was like, yeah man, we're moving locations. I was like, fuck. Maybe he said that to be nice. I don't know. But I would have loved to have played. I was like, oh, that's great. I think there's a couple tabletop people in California, at least in the area where I have to go for work. We'll call it the Bay Area. I'll see who's over there. I'll have to reach out. Next time I go over there for work, I'll see if I can get some actual gaming in. Alright, there's his rifle done. Alright, we're still working on wood. We're just getting all the rifles now. So we got their clubs and their shields, and we're working on their rifles. We have a Bay Area. Everybody has Bay Areas, you know what I mean? That's the other thing. I mean, as someone who grew up watching, I say grow up. When I first started Warhammer 40k back in 6th, I want to say 6th and 7th, I watched a lot of mini wargaming. So I think it'd be really cool to like go up to Canada up north. You know, maybe meet up with Evan the editor play at mini wargaming. That'd be cool. Oh, we talk about rugby now. Hold up there. I just saw that in chat. Oh, my love. I love rugby. Played in college. Absolutely loved it until I realized that I was 18 playing rugby, trying to have a military career ahead of me, and I could very easily cripple myself. So I made the tortured choice to not pursue rugby anymore. It was difficult. It was a difficult decision. Last time I talked to him, Squig, I think he's played at mini wargaming. I think he's close to him. Maybe, I don't know. God, I love rugby. Yeah, ouch, much up. So one thing I always liked about rugby though is, I mean, you still had refs, but you didn't really need them because you punished people for fouls. Like that's why we have a sin bin, kind of like hockey. You know, like a good example, you're not supposed to put your hands in a ruck, right? To like try and snatch the ball. That's not the way you're supposed to properly do it. And if someone catches you, instead of calling the ref and calling a foul and you give me a couple meters and slowing the game down, no, someone's just gonna stomp on your hand with their cleats. And you're gonna be like, oh, my hand wouldn't have gotten stomped on if I wasn't putting my hand in the ruck. This makes sense, you know? So. We had one guy who just liked to like push and punch during lineouts. Like not even try. He'd just like jump up and just literally like throw elbows or like not even hide it, just punch the guy doing lineouts. And I was that guy doing lineouts, so I literally got a black eye from this. And I'll never forget, we were playing, I think we were playing like Coast Guard Academy, so it was a big giant corn-fed motherfucker. And so I came out of that lineout with a black eye, and one of my teammates saw. It's like, what happened? I was like, that fucking Sasquatch over there punched me in the face during the lineout. Sorry for the plosive. So he punched me in the face during the lineout. Back then I was a hell of a lot skinnier. I was really good at being a lock and doing lineouts. And so when he went up to go hit him, next time he got the ball, my buddy absolutely broke the rules and just speared this dude. I'm talking a shoulder and clavicle right into the shin bones. Just absolutely gave him a dose of gravity and fucked his shit up. And he went straight to the sin bin for like 10 minutes. I ended up buying his drinks all weekend, man. It's the best money I ever spent. That felt so good. Yeah, rugby is like a professional bar fight. Like, you need to have people who have your back. It just feels like a bar fight for like 40-minute halves because there's no stopping. There's not like football where you stop and start and stuff. No, it's full speed all the time, no pads. Best example is just an organized bar fight. It hurts, but there's nothing like it as far as like that. Nothing against women because I've seen women's rugby and it's cool, and I've seen mixed gender rugby and it's cool too. I'm not trying to like say anything, but as like a guy in the era that I grew up with, it felt like the ultimate masculine sport. Like it was a blast. And I've always thought rugby like sevens. Have you ever seen what sevens are? Playing with only 7 people on a team, backs and forwards. That should be an Olympic sport. I don't know how humans play rugby sevens. That's like up there with like triathlons. I just don't understand how the human body can do that. Alright. Sorry, I've been pitting a couple off stream. My bad. Let me make sure I get these guys on stream. All right, Jenny, no worries. Oh, absolutely. So fighting and knowing your songs, you have to know your rugby songs. Yeah, you have to be able to hold yourself in a fight. I've seen fights break out in rugby matches. Absolutely, kind of like hockey, where like what was it, that American Canada game, where like the first 3 minutes is nothing but fights. Yeah. Growing up in Texas, I had to play a lot of football. I wasn't really that big of a fan, but as soon as I got to college and I found out I could play rugby instead, I was like, oh, hell yes. Sign me up. I think one of the biggest changes I liked about going to rugby from football is that anybody can score a try, and if you have a ball, no one can protect you. It's called shepherding, you know? If you have a ball, you can score a try, but you have to burn for your glory. If you have a ball, you're either going to score or you're going to get rocked. There's no like, oh, my tackles protect and block for me. No. No guts, no glory. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Touch rugby would keep you in shape. Like I said, sevens. If you like running, sevens is your game. Like I said, I still refuse to believe it's played by humans. I think they're all just like hybrid gazelles. But sevens is mad. But I'm excited about this bolt action game. I'm excited to see what these guys are going to bring. Like I said, I told you guys my list at the beginning of the stream, so I'm meeting them basically with a full-strength light tank company. So I have 8 light tanks plus a recon armored vehicle plus a float tank. I have a full infantry platoon with weapon support from light mortars and AT rifles. And then they have a couple little militia rifles for backup. So we'll see how it goes. Sorry, I've got tears in my eyes. Alright. He's got his club and his rifle. Alright, we're just trying to get one color down. We're trying to just get wood done. The stream will continue until the wood is done. Alright. And I will continue to paint stall trooping. How many stall trooping do you have? They were giving me shit for all the Chihas I have costing, but how many stall trooping do you have? I think you may have a whole army of just stall trooping. What? No, not at all, Glenn Lee. Like I said, I know it's gonna be your first stream hanging out with us. But no, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. So this runs just like a super chilled, laid-back thing. You guys just run the chat however you want. I don't mind. As long as you're not saying anything like outlandish, I don't care at all. You guys we're all just sitting here, as you can tell, we're all just drinking, hanging out, painting, and chatting. This is the end of the day for some people, start of the day for other people. Yep. You do you, man. Like I said, the channel doesn't need to grow. It's like the perfect size. I'm happy. "28 stall trooping, sweet Jesus." Don't make him too bad. I'm not a dictator. There's nothing to get away. Yeah, I'm banging a kid bashing myself constantly. God, like I will just have like almost like a photo. I can't remember certain stuff. But I have like a photographic memory for what bits are in a box somewhere. I'm like, wait a minute, I have bits for this. Hold on. I'll spend like 30 minutes just digging through a box finding the perfect pair of whatever I'm looking for. I was like, wait, I know I have this. I have it somewhere. Yeah, I've been there, Cosmic. I get it. Alright, more rifles. More wood and more rifles. Firefly, man. That's Uber Eats for my Shibito zombies. Hey, Nathan, what's going on, buddy? I think I have 20 Shibito. Nathan, you're like, did someone just say going dark outside my house? What the hell is this? Someone asked me, and I feel like I came up with a pretty clever response. But because of all the modern stuff going on, someone asked me like, what was GWAT like? You know, like kind of making fun that I'm an older person now. And I told him, I was like, you've never seen so many grown men do some absolute hood rat shenanigan shit with their hood rat friends, all while listening to like drunk white girl music from like the mid 2000s to the late 2010s. Let me take a look, Cosmic. Oh, yeah. Oh, your stall trooping look amazing. Your, that last guy, he reminds me a lot of the dude from, Jojo Rabbit. You know, who had, like, a Klein or Colonel Klein or whatever. Colonel Klein. Who had the one guy playing, like, the speaker with the cape and stuff. Hoping to get more Shibito, hoping to get those hula girls in. Once I have those, a whole bunch. But yeah, when I built that 2,500 point list for my Imperial Japanese, I realized I didn't include like that was only half the tanks I have. I didn't include any of my 3 AA trucks, you know, and I looked down, I still had my whole, like, mass gray unpainted Japanese that I got from someone on Morning Glory stream. I was like, fuck, I have a lot. Oh, I'm glad that's actually a purpose for the Primaris Marines. Nice, another rifle. Alright. Let's try doing this one actually on camera. I keep taking them off camera, sorry about that. I think it's the light, I can't see with this lower light. Yeah, there you go, that might be better. Alright. Yeah, if you really want some extra bits for your Imperial Japanese for Comic 47, check out Warlord Games' 28mm samurai box for. I'm trying to look at the box. I forgot what game it's for. Pike and Shot. That's what it is. If you can crush a can with it, it's ready. I can't even keep up with the chat sometimes. You guys are always going on some crazy tangent. I love it. Sometimes I'll watch the streams back like, what the fuck was everybody talking about? It's good times. Life's full of choices now. He's gonna make good ones. But it's good to see all you guys back. This is only my second weekend of coming back to streaming after a nice long break, and you guys are just coming back in force, which I love. So as you can see back here, Cosmic, these are my my Spanish Blue Division for Conflict 47 Axis, you know? So Spanish will fight for the Axis. So I think for their weird, wacky war, I think instead of Shrek Wolf, and I'm going to give them Minotaurs. And that idea came from Squig Hunter Sean, and I love the idea. It actually came from Squig Hunter Sean or Arky. I'm not sure which one came up with the idea. One of those two did. So I think that's what I'll add to my Blue Division. I'll give them actual Minotaur Shrek Wolfen. That seems very Spanish. Unlike Auspex, I want to throw credit where credit goes. You know, I just can't quite remember which one it is. All right, man. We are getting wood on rifles. The Bohemian equivalent? Bohemian? By Bohemian, like, I'm assuming by Bohemian you mean like French Bohemian, or are you talking like Bahamian? I don't know where Bohemian is showing up. Boss Hog 250. Oh, Boss Hog 250, yeah. Oh yeah, no, the 250 that they have is absolutely gonna have horns on it and be called the Toro. Oh, Bohemia is in Czechoslovakia. Okay. Shit, I don't know. I'll say if you were talking like the French Bohemian movement, I was gonna say snakes. Snakes would be a really cool French thing, I want to say. Frostgrave, Ghost Arpelago makes cool Snakeman. Hey, what's going on, Edskar? I am working on my Imperial Japanese 100% totally volunteer militia rifleman. These guys were not gang pressed at all. Nice. Highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen it, go check out Ed Scar's video. I really enjoyed the one he did on train gauges. He was able to get some train stuff, model train stuff, and so he was talking about like what gauge works best with wargaming and things like that. It's a really cool video. I've always had questions about that, and not a lot of content on that. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, the 51st Voluntolders. Yeah, because I need to build a railroad as part of, so for our Once Upon a December matchup, while everybody else is doing the big old 2,000 point versus 2,000 point on huge ass tables, I'm going to be doing a 750 on 750 on a smaller, it's going to be more of a commando kind of raid, and it's going to be the train station they're trying to take on Anastasia too. So I got to build a whole ass fucking Russian train station map. So I was worried about that, and I saw your video, and I was like, oh, thank God, I can get some ideas from here. Because I had no idea where to go for that. So I will say the surprise, because I don't think anyone here is going to be, I don't think anyone, we'll see if anyone does line up for the 750 game. So the big surprise for the 750 point match is there's actually going to be partisan squads that I need to finish building. And they're going to be holding the key positions. And what happens is at the start of every turn, they go on ambush. So when you get close, they're going to take a shot at you, regardless of which side is going near that. So it's kind of like, it's 750 versus 750 with a couple, like, partisans in the middle who are just going to shoot at everybody. Alright, another wooden rifle done. Oh, so it's Mrs. RK. Perfect. What army is she bringing? Is she bringing Russians, White Russians, Red Russians, Allies, Axis, or Imperial Japanese? Yeah, RK, feel free to let her know. Yeah, let her know we'll be doing key positions, and there'll be partisans on the field who are hostile to both of us. Rosé Russians. I've never heard the term Rosé Russian, but I fucking love it. That's great. Oh, she'll be playing Americans. Nice. So yeah, I'll keep my Axis. That'll be a perfect matchup. So yeah, we'll be fighting over key positions. I want to say it's going to be like 3. It's going to be like a bridge, a rail yard, and like a railroad switch, you know? And then, should be kind of cool. Alright, let's see what we got left here. Nice. She'll be going up against the Spanish Blue Division. Good. Mrs. RK is awesome. I got to chat with her and watch her play at Clash of the Caribbean. She's a good player and a friendly person. Fair enough. Yeah, I've been reaching out. I've been emailing Warfire Games. So I'm about to start posting official stuff for it. I've got a lot of local people saying they want to attend the events. We'll see how it goes. I'm thinking it's gonna be no bigger than 5 tables, RK. So 4 tables of 2K versus 2K, and then 1 small 750 table. So it shouldn't be any bigger than that. So I should limit it to 10 people. Yeah, I'm over in Florida, but I do get a text every now and then for some wargaming and to visit family. But yeah, it's good down here. Like, so we got plenty of good shops, pretty chill scene for the most part. But I'll make a trip up to the Frozen North one day, Cosmic. I'll play you and Jenny, whoever else shows up to Adepticon. I give off Texas energy, I guess. No, I'm all over Cosmic. No, it's hard to remember where I'm at. I'm all over the place. You need to make a road trip for the next cruise ship event, Cosmic. That's what I'm talking about. Cosmic on a cruise ship for 2 days, just hanging out, having a blast, playing Conflict 47 in international waters. Dude, you can't beat it, man. I even ran into Bad Rabbit on the island on Nassau at the Pirate Museum. He's like, I literally hear him like, I know that voice. I was like, fuck, it's Bad Rabbit. I was like, hey, buddy. I'm looking to see if I'm missing it. Oh yeah, here we go. Trying to see if I missed any wood. I want to get all the wood done, so tomorrow I can work on the next color. Getting these guys ready for those who join the chat a little bit later. On Tuesday, unfortunately, my local store is going out of business. We're trying to have like one big game. It's like kind of like a going out with style. So we're doing a 3,000 point Allies versus my 2,500 point Imperial Japanese Island Defenders. So the Allies, it's 1,000 Soviets, 1,000 American, I think 1,000 American Airborne. Going up against a mixed. I try to make a cool mixture of Imperial Japanese Army, mostly airborne, some Imperial Japanese Navy, taken more as regulars, and then a bunch of these militia riflemen as like a home defense kind of thing. So they'll be playing a mixture of that. Plus, there's a lot of tanks out there. Yeah, we were all officially drunk. Oh, Cosmic thought I was in Texas, Squig, so he says he wants to come over there sometime. I will be doing some serious Warhammer 40k gaming in Texas in November. I'll be playing with my family mostly, but I may open it up to like a meet and greet if anyone's actually out in that area. Squid shows like I'll pass. Oh, very nice. Ginny, probably like 20 hours maybe, if I had to guess. 20 to 22 hours. Maybe more. Alright, I'm just checking my model, see if I got everyone's rifle with some wood on it. Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna go back. I gotta get all the NCOs rifles on their shoulders and their drumsticks, and we'll be done. Oh yeah, give it time, Cosmic. Every summer. Like clockwork. Cut those nails. My nails are short as shit. What are you talking about? Cut those nails. This guy. Cut those nails. If by nails you mean my paint palettes. Alright, drumsticks and rifle, good to go. Lovely. Alright, there's a few more. Yeah, my drum guys are my, I'm doing this way to mark them as my NCOs. The drums and mohawks. I say NCO, but like the leader of the militia rifles. So other than that, we've gotten a good amount of paint done. We worked a lot on our officer model, our actual Tiki the Hut, which is actually kind of cool. Hopefully this flag will be done tomorrow. And we've gotten wood down on all of our 20 auxiliary riflemen. Oh, thanks, Commander. I appreciate it. I'll say I may not be a slot gamer, but I'm a slot painter, and I'm okay with that. Got my storm plant in a bottle. Security member. Yeah, that's because of you guys, Cosmic, and I love that. I love when you guys make models of me. It cracks me up, man. It's a huge homage, and it lifts my soul. You know, it makes me really happy. Same thing. That's why I have merch. It's not to have a profit. It's just like kind of be fun. Just kind of put this stuff out there. So like when people see pictures of them wearing like the hoodie, you know, or have stickers, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it warms my heart when you guys do that. I just like being friendly, you know. No. I'm pretty far out of shape. You can ask people. I have not 007 anymore. I'm just an old washed up has been and just enjoys chitting and chatting. There was a good phrase. I think RK came up with it. It was what was it like? I have a chi, so I must ha. Or no, it's have chi, will ha. That's what it was. I fucking love that one. Sorry, I thought I muted that. My apologies. So there's two good Tiki models currently. There's one by Frostgrave Atlantic Ghost Arpelago, and it's metal. And then there's another one that comes in this D&D Human Monk. You get one like samurai looking guy, and then the bottom one is this miniature. He's a monk who comes with like a dragon mask. You just cut off the horns on the dragon mask, and it's kind of like a tiki mask. The flag arm and the rifle arm I added, so he doesn't look like that at all. He has like two fists out, you know? So. Have chi will ha. I love that. Yeah, because I'm always running lists of just shit tons of chi ha's. Nathan, nice. Close. You know, hundreds and hundreds off, but you know, close. Not even like half that. Alright, let me finish up these guys. That was funny though, Nathan. I liked it. Never talk again. Oh my god. I probably could ask Mrs. Tiki to put that in kanji on the flag. She still remembers a lot from her time there. My kanji character sites come out looking like shit. Like I write on the barrels, I write oil or water on the barrel. What I want to do when I have time is I want to write sake on their shields. I want it to be like the Japanese told these are like magical shields that'll protect them from bullets, but they're really just like the bottom of the sake barrels. Nathan, my man, what have you been up to, buddy old pal? They've added a Tech Marine to Space Marine 2. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that game. They added a Hive Ganger, like Necromunda style, to Dark Tide. That's pretty cool. All right, just a little bit left. Ginny, would you say would the Imperial Japanese do that? Yeah, they absolutely would. I could easily see them lying and saying that. Oh yeah, I think I got 2 guys left. Yes, Nathan, I know 100% exactly what you mean. That's why I took like a 4-month. I walked away for 4 months, you know, because this is when all the Conflict 47 was coming out, and all these channels were like, oh, we've always been Conflict 47 channels. I was like, motherfucker. I was like, all right, before I get annoyed, let me just like cool down. And then I'm like, all right, I don't want to compete with early access, and I don't want to be in a bad mood all the time. I was like, let me work on some orcs, and more importantly, let me play some bolt action and some Conflict 47. Let me, instead of just offering my opinions and painting and knowing the lore, let me get some serious repetitions on the table, and that's what I did. I did that, did a whole bunch of upgrade training for work, did some traveling, and I finally sat down, like, you know what, yeah, I can come back to streaming. I did watch your XCOM video. Actually, let me link your video. This is a long. I watched this video the other day, and I will say it's probably one of my favorite YouTube videos. I don't really throw that praise around lightly. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Nathan. It's amazing. Yeah. And he's the guy who got me into XCOM 2. I didn't really like XCOM 2. I liked the first. Like, I liked, you know, Enemy Within and stuff like that. And I liked those. I wasn't really big XCOM 2, but then, like, Nathan just reached over across the warp and whispered in my ear with a little too much tongue, said, play it on PC, there's mods. My brother and four-armed Emperor Heaven. That has solved so much of my boredom. I think one of my favorite like armies I made with mods for XCOM 2. This is like completely off the wall, but I made a an army of Ghostface from like the Scream movies. Oh god, yeah, the voice and the costumes all there, dude. It's so great. Hey, first off, I warned you that the Bureau game wasn't that good. I said it had kind of a cool story. It's not a bad game. You didn't have to play the whole thing, alright? Nathan, that's like me cooking you a dish like, hey, this is exotic food, you may or may not like it. And you take a bite, you're like, I'm not sure how I feel, and then you eat the whole dish, alright? You could have just chewed it politely and spat it out, but no, you played the whole damn game. The problem with Bureau is it has the same squad-based mechanics as Mass Effect. So anytime you sit down and play Bureau, you're like, I'd rather be playing Mass Effect, and you just go and play Mass Effect. It's funny, Cosmic, that's what my character had like the what's up face, you know? And then a lot of the other ones were the actual Ghostface killer. And then a lot of my females were like Elvira, so that was kind of cool. A Chimera Squad. No, I took a look at that and I was like, no. So I haven't really been playing much. So yeah, so after like 4 years, almost like 4 years, I finally talked my brothers, both my older brothers, into playing Enlisted. After like 4 years of playing this game, right? This free game. So I'm trying to think of what video games I've been playing. I've been playing a little bit of Space Marine 2. The Tech Marine, he's alright. I've been playing Dark Tide. I love the Ganger. She's pretty cool. But I've been playing a lot of Enlisted with my brothers, and that's an absolute just great time. Yeah, so Enlisted is good, but you play Enlisted with like 2 people you know really well. Oh, God, that game gets phenomenal. I think like one time we held a point against like 4 or 5 American human players, and we were all specialized in different things. Like I had a lot of engineer infantry, so I was building all sorts of barricades and doing a lot of close-in fighting with some machine guns. My other brother was doing rifles with snipers and artillery. Then my other brother was in a Panther 3, just absolutely lowering the population. We held that point for like the full 30-minute game. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely nasty. Yeah, so Enlisted is not super good. When you go up against someone really good, I mean, it hurts. You know, you can definitely tell. But I like the way you can manipulate the battlefield. Like if you run out of anti-tank grenades or charges, you can always just grab your shovel and just dig a huge trench in the road and hope the tank drives by and gets stuck. That's always lovely. But no, when I play, I use aircraft a little bit. Infantry, but I love engineers. Like I will go absolutely like a drone ant and just go building crazy, throwing down sandbags, check hedgehogs, you know, anti-tank mines, razor wires, trying to fortify a position. Plenty of rally points. The game's free, you know, it's always free to check out. I want to say the other day we were playing Germans versus Soviets, and you learn a lot. Like I know a little bit about World War II, not a whole bunch. I know a lot about Imperial Japan, right? But I came across a plane I've never heard of, and I literally got off the game and like when I was done and like looked it up, you know, found out about it. It was the IL-2M. Literally they call it the flying tank. This flying tank of an aircraft. This giant metal death pterodactyl comes screaming in over the map. Giant fucking wings. It starts shooting its front guns, which sound like thunderclaps, and then rockets fly out of it. I see that, and I'm in my. Oh no, I'm sorry. We were playing Japan. That's right. We were playing in Manchuria. So I see that in my A6M0, and I'm like, oh no, fuck that. These are my skies. So I do an absolutely gnarly aileron turn. Right? It was beautiful. So I do a full like. If you don't know what an aileron is, or I'm sorry, not aileron. It's an Emerson. So I did a Emerson turn, so it's kind of like a U-turn and then you roll out of it, you know? So you're facing south, you fly up, and then you roll over and turn your aircraft around and you're flying north again. So I come chasing after him, ready to light him up with my 20mm guns. That thing has a 12.7mm tail gun. So he's got one, you know, Soviet comrade back there with a 50 cal punching holes in my paper-thin Zero. So I had to like break off the attack and come at him from a different angle. And then I put some 20mm and I bring him down, but then I crash because I don't have self-sealing fuel tanks. So those 50 cals just shoot my plane apart. So then we're playing later on, and that same metal death flying tank pterodactyl comes the fuck out of nowhere. We see it scream death, right? We see the cannons coming out the front and the rockets just start deleting infantry. So as the engineer, I run around, I build a little 20mm AA gun. I was like, I'm going to light him up the next time he makes this run. Like 3 minutes later, he comes for another run. I line up the 20 mil sights, and I start, not too early, because I want to make sure he commits to his run so he can't move. So I start putting 20 mil shells into him. First off, he survived. Secondly, he breaks off his attack, turns towards me, and then drops bombs. It carried bombs too, I guess, and just absolutely bombed the shit out of my 20 mil AA gun. But I put enough rounds in him and his wing where he finally went down. Yeah, so I looked that plane up, right? Because we're playing, like, Battle Ranking 2, and I'm like, there's no way, and it's a Battle Ranking 3 plane, which is fine, because you play, like, 1 through 3. But I looked it up. In case you're curious, you can Google it. It's called an IL-2M. This thing was a flying monstrosity. Me and my brother now call it the Metal Pterodactyl of Death. That thing fucked my shit up. Alright, take it easy, Glenn. Iskar, I'll take a look. Let me finish up these models. I'll take a look for you. Oh, nice. That is everybody. Cool. Yeah, I play a lot of Imperial Japanese, right? So I'm really good with my my Val and my Zero. I feel like as a Zero, I can knock anything out of the sky, but that thing scares me. Yeah, it's like that meme from, what is that, Incredibles? That thing, it scares me. Or it keeps me up at night. Because, like, I'm about to lay into this thing with some 20 mil, and his tail gunner just absolutely perforates my aircraft, gives me speed holes. And if you know anything about the Zero, because the game tries to be realistic, so if you know anything about the Zero, the A6M, they're fast and maneuverable because they have no armor, and they don't have self-sealing fuel tanks. So you spin on them, and they're going to go down. Yeah. Alright guys, that is so the same advice I gave him as we picked one color. Our color was wood. We went ahead and painted all the wood on these guys. So hopefully I can get to them tomorrow before the stream and you'll see kind of what they look like. I think next color I'll do flesh. So I think for the flesh I'm going to be mixing, to get this little bit of a darker, more tan tone. I think I'm going to do Bugman's Glow, but I think I have Gilliman Flesh. I think that's what I'm going to mix. I'll do Bugman Glow first, and then follow it up with but yeah, they should turn out very similar to this. This is kind of what we're going for the full suit ones. So it should be kind of cool. Alright. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of fun. We had a new person. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've seen someone subscribe during the stream. That's kind of neat. I gotta go back and see if it played like a little chirp sound or anything. I think I have some effects in there, but I'm not sure. We got some painting done. We actually got a lot of painting done. I'm glad we started an hour early. Tomorrow I'll probably start at the normal time, the 01, so 01 to 03 Eastern. And we'll be working on these guys again. I'm going to be excited to talk about my game on Tuesday, so keep your ears tuned. We'll see what happens with it. Oh, anytime, Nathan. I'm always glad to see you, buddy. You crack me up. Alright, sorry about that. I had to click some stuff here. It's always good to, we got to talk to Cosmic, Jenny, Nathan, all the OGs were here. Always appreciate you guys showing up. Ed showed up, which is pretty cool. Oh, that's right, Ed. I'm so sorry. Before I pop off here, let me take a look at that. You mentioned on Discord. I don't show the pictures on stream just because I don't know. It's just kind of, just don't. I don't really have a reason, but I'll take a look at them. No, they actually look phenomenal. They're pretty. They look nothing like beaky. Okay, the guns. I can see the guns. I can see because of the guns why people say they look like beakies, but I don't think they look like beakies. They just look jacked as fuck, though. They look fucking huge. Those are not. Yeah, those are not Imperial Japanese in 1947. Not unless they've been taken like. What is it, what's that 40K guy who does all the peptides or shit? Yeah, those guys are absolutely jacked. I feel like you took all the sumo wrestlers in Japan and fed them nothing but like creatine and Pancher chocolate, you know, and amphetamines, and got them jacked into shape and put them in those suits. They look great, man. Those are cool, but those guys are absolutely brick fucking houses. They're huge. Alright, so with that being said, for those of you guys who are going off to sleep, I hope you get the sleep you deserve. Hope you don't have any realistic nightmares or night terrors. I had one the other day. I literally rolled off my couch because I was trying to take cover. Oh, hold on, I got something for Cosmic here. Tiki, before you go, you should check out what I just sent you. I finished my leader for the army, the Baron. Sure thing, Cosmic. Holy shit, that guy's insane, Cosmic. Oh, I love the Panzerfaust mounted on the top of the machine gun. That's disgustingly dangerous. His cape looks good, Cosmic. I really like his cape. Okay, there we go. It's all caught up on all my discords. Alright, cool, we're there. They're the same size as the official assault frames. My ass, Edscar. Lies. Lies of the Jedi. Send me a picture with them side by side, you lying bastard. I will... Not match Squark, we're about to end the stream. So I got all the wood color down on these guys. So tomorrow I'm going to work on the flesh tone and probably the green and get them one step closer. We were just going through some Discord to take a look at some photos. But like I was saying, for you guys going to sleep, I hope you don't have any realistic nightmares. Those are never fun. Those are never fun. That story I was telling actually fell asleep on my couch, and I had such a realistic dream that I was diving for cover and I actually rolled off my couch. That was hysterical. I woke up like right before I hit the floor. If you're going to work, I hope it's a chill day at work. I hope your end of year performance is coming up, and I hope you get your nice Firewall 5 that you probably truly deserve. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and don't forget to relax today. Because you're on Tiki time.
Just beach for miles. Ghost park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights, sand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in the waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap, imperial dreams, fade and sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine to ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days, sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands.